Thanks for joining me for Yoga at Home. My name is Laura with TC Fit. All you'll need for today's practice is some flat floor space, a yoga mat or a bath towel, and some quiet time to yourself. Let's begin today by lying down on our mat, feet flat, knees bent. Allow your arms to rest at your sides and find some space across your collarbones. We begin by staying with our breath for a few moments. Draw your breath in through your nose and allow your belly to rise. Expand and fill. And as you exhale, allow your body to melt back into your mat. Yoga is a beautiful combination of breath and movement and mindfulness. By focusing on our breath, it gives our mind a chance to really be with what our body's doing in the moment that we're living in. Inhale through your nose, draw your breath down your windpipe deep into your abdomen, all the way down by your hip bones, and allow your breath to fill all of the space inside the center of your body. As you settle into your breath, I challenge you to stay focused on how your breath feels, no matter what pose we're practicing during today's time on our mat. Our breath is a movement that we do continually, all day, every day. And this is a chance for us to appreciate that movement. Practice quality breathing. As we move into the stretching and movement segments of class, I invite you to really let go of whatever else your day has for you. Whether it was what you were working on before this, whatever's upcoming. Allow yourself the permission to set that aside. You get to live in the moment that you're actually in. From here, slide your arms wide, creating a T shape with your arms. And let your legs drift off towards your left. Keep your feet planted where they are. Shoulder blades staying anchored against our mat. Draw your knees back up towards the sky and move off to the other direction. As you're practicing yoga today, please respect your body and where it's at today. If anything that I'm cueing you through doesn't feel quite right, by all means, modify, take a few moments in child's pose, draw our knees back up and then off to the opposite side. In a way, yoga is an exploration of our body. We're pretty good at spending time outside. In our mind, we're good at spending time outside of our body. And this is a time for you to focus inward. Bringing control to what we have to offer right now. From here, let's move our feet wider. Almost mat width apart, and again, continue with this rotation. Allowing our top hip to peel off of our mat, coming back to center and moving into the other side. Shoulder blades staying anchored, so there's a little bit of rotation through our spine. We're also creating length through some of the muscles in our hips, maybe down and into your thigh. Good. Let's take this one more time to each direction. As you come back to center, let's lengthen our legs up towards the ceiling. And let your legs drift towards your chest, just enough to get a nice stretch along the back side of the legs. And once we're here, flex your feet a little bit and lengthen your toes, pointing and flexing. Only move in a range of motion that feels good for your tissues. Hopefully we're getting ourselves to glide around a little bit better, moving the internal parts of our bodies. Let's take one more flex and extend of our feet. Good. And now roll your ankles, making circles and trading directions, going in the opposite. Crinkle your toes, spread your toes apart, and then draw your knees towards your chest. Give yourself a little rock from side to side. From here, you can use your hands behind your knees to roll yourself up, or turn to one side and press yourself up and into a seated shape. For this next pose, I'm going to face the camera, but you're welcome to face the front of your mat, wherever you need to be able to see. We're going to create sort of a staggered position with our legs. So 90-degree angle at our front knee, 90-degree angle at our back knee. Whichever leg you have forward, rotate towards that side and use your mat as a point of anchor, creating a really strong attachment with our hands to the ground. And imagine your spine as a barber pole. So you're going to rotate up and back like a peppermint candy cane, rotating and looking as far as you can off of your back shoulder. And from here, sort of settle into this seated twist, shifting your weight from right to left. Allow yourself to unwind, come back to center, and trade legs. So again, 90-degree angle at the front knee, 90-degree angle at your back knee, and a 90-degree angle through your hips. We rotate in the opposite direction towards your front leg, and once you've got your hands planted, allow yourself a little shift from right to left. Move in a range of motion that's comfortable for you. It's okay to create tension. You want to avoid creating pain. From here, we'll unwind ourselves back to center and reconvene on all fours. So hands beneath shoulders, knees beneath our hips, and move into cat and cow, kind of a staple of any yoga practice. It's a really great sequence to capture some movement along the length of your spine. Crown of our head towards our sit bones, round and flex, lower, lengthen and extend. Inhaling into cow, sway back. Exhaling as we round up into cat. If you want to create a little bit more of a strength challenge for your body today, you're welcome to take this into hovering cat and cow, removing the knees from the mat. A lot more strength and control through our shoulders and abdominals. And final repetition. Beautiful. Movement is like lotion for our joints. It lubes our tissues, it gets us moving. It's always good to be supple. Allow your knees to move wide, big toes towards one another, and settle back and down into child's pose. In child's pose, we reach our hands out overhead. You also have the option to take your arms behind you. Whichever you choose, draw your focus to the movement that your breath creates inside your rib cage. Where our rib bones come into our spine and attach, it's called our thoracic spine, or middle portion of our spine. And that portion of our spine is often very tense. We slump in front of our keyboard throughout the course of the day. And that part of our spine ends up very stale, stuck, sort of stiff. We can create a little more movement by exaggerating our breath, really bringing a big inhale into that space, asking our ribs to move wider to accommodate our big breath. And then as we settle, we really try and open our shoulders, our armpits towards our mat. From our child's pose, let's draw our shoulders up and over our hands, moving into our half series. Plank position, knees can be on the mat or elevated. High plank. Into low plank, just as our body finds the mat, we move into our cobra position. Chest is lifted, hands are light enough that you could remove them from the mat if you had to. Gaze is up and forward, shoulder blades are drawn down our spine. And from here, we summon the strength to press our hips up and back and find downward facing dog. You're welcome to kind of pedal out your feet, sort of settle into this. We prepped for this when we were lying down with our feet elevated up in the air, asking those nerves and tissues to elongate as best as they're able. Let's walk our toes towards the heels of our hands and take forward fold. Forward fold can be very stiff-legged, or you can have the knees soft, whatever feels good for your body. You also have the option to take your hands to opposite elbows and just kind of hang out. We're going to stay for about 5 breaths. From our forward fold, we send our fingertips out wide, lift our chest, keeping our spine straight, strong, and stretching up tall into mountain. As we visit our first mountain pose, I'm going to encourage you to clasp your hands up and overhead and move into standing side bend. So reaching up and over and growing tall. Reach up and over and stretch. Each time we visit the right to left sides, try to make your side bend a touch bigger, capturing a little bit more length with each visit. We'll take one more side bend in each direction. From here, let's draw our hands to heart center, fingers are spread wide, palms pressing against one another, and settle our hips back and down into chair pose. Stretching tall back into mountain, and swan dive, hinging at our hips, planting our hand, one step ahead, lifting our hands into monkey, and folding forward. Planting our hands, let's step our feet back towards the back end of our mat. Half series, high to low plank. Cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, press back. Take child's pose or downward facing dog. We're going to stay for 5 breaths. Today's moving segment of class is going to be our flowing sun salutations. We will move 1 breath to 1 movement visiting each pose only momentarily. It's kind of moving meditation, always moving from one thing to the next. Taking the time to feel each pose as we visit its shape. As we move along, if you're breathing in when I'm saying breathe out, that's okay. Just keep moving, keep breathing. Avoid holding your breath. We're going to take 5 rounds of our sun salutation. Let's go ahead and get the body moving. On an inhale, lift your shoulders up and over your hands high, knees or knees on the mat. Inhale. Exhale, slow, controlled lower. Inhale, taking our cobra or upward facing dog. And exhale, press back, down dog. Inhale, step or hop your feet towards your hands. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reverse swan dive, up tall into mountain. Exhale, sink into chair. Inhale, stretch tall into mountain. Exhale, hinge forward, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plant our hands, stepping back. Exhale, slow, controlled lower. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back, down dog. 1 round done. Inhale, step or hop forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, up tall into mountain. Exhale, sinking into chair. Inhale, sweep and reach. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plant your hands, step back. Exhale, lower. 2 rounds done. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, press back, down dog. Inhale, step or hop forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, up into mountain. Exhale, sink into chair. Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway lift monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, step or hop back. Exhale, lower. 3 rounds done, 2 to go. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And exhale, press back, down dog. Inhale, step or hop. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, up into mountain. Exhale, into chair. Inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale, swan dive. Inhale, halfway monkey. Exhale, fold. Inhale, plant and step back. Exhale, lower. 1 more round to finish. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, press back, down dog. Let's see if you can do it on your own. Inhale, step or hop. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, press back. Allow yourself child's pose. Notice the speed, the rate of your breath. Quicker and warmer. We've gotten the body pliable, allowing ourselves easy access to more mobility. Sort of the deeper stretching poses that happen towards the end of our practice. From here, I invite you to bring your chest up. Drag 1 knee forward, followed by the second knee. And make your way down onto your mat, feet flat, knees bent. From here, we move into a sort of inversion of sorts, meaning your heart is higher than your head. I invite you to turn your palms up, resting at your sides, with the backs of the arms sort of glued into the ground. From here, we lift our hips and find bridge. our bridge, we want to notice the entire length of our foot anchored into our mat. From toes, all 5 of them, along the entire outer length of our foot and feeling our heel pad against our mat. From here, allow your hips to return to their home base, right where they came from. So you can stay with this option, or if you'd like a shoulder expansion, you're welcome to take this movement on our next visit. Lift your hips, and from here, if you can, if you'd like, hands clasp underneath your body and walk your shoulder blades closer to one another as you lift up and into your bridge. Creates a really unique stretch through your shoulder, through your chest wall, and breathe into that stretch, trying to expand the space across the front of the body, and as you exhale, allow yourself to just settle into that stretch. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable. It's part of what makes us grow as human beings. Stay for 3 more breaths. If you've got your hands clasped, I invite you to release them and walk your shoulders further apart before allowing your hips to settle down onto the mat. From here, we're going to take face up pigeon today. So pick a side, either side. I invite you to cross an ankle on top of your opposite knee. And then bring your bottom leg up. So we're going to grab behind the bottom leg, pull towards your chest, but with your opposite hand, place it on the inside of your top knee. So pressing the top knee away as we pull the bottom leg towards us. Sort of this kind of rotational push-pull. Creates a great stretch in and around the hip, opening up space that tends to be very still, very stuck. Sits in the same shape for a lot of our day. Allow your top knee to release, unhook. Draw your knees towards your chest and rock from side to side. Let's recreate this with the other side. Putting your other ankle on top of the knee, grabbing behind our thigh, and pressing the top knee away from us. Push, pull, counteractive. You're stirring the pot that is your hip socket. Let's stay for 3 more breaths. Unhook our top foot and let your feet find the mat, feet a little bit wider than our hips, and stretch your arms out to your sides. Allow your knees to drift off in one direction and then to the opposite. Coming full circle, ending class the way we began. My hope is that this movement happens a little bit more smoothly on the inside of your body. I hope you feel a little bit more supple, more relaxed maybe, more empowered to move well. Yoga can really be a feel-good thing. And to put it simply, it feels good to feel good. So if this is something that helps you feel good, I'm so glad you were here. Let's bring the knees back to the center. Draw them up and in, hands behind your knees. Draw your forehead up, creating a really small, compact version of yourself before allowing your limbs to find your mat. Final Shavasana. From Sanskrit, translates as corpse pose. Signifies the death of your yoga practice, re-entry to the rest of your day. But before that happens, I encourage you to stay here. Stay put. Lay on your mat as long as your schedule permits. Enjoy how your body feels. Appreciate the big breaths that we've taken. The focus of being present. Your mind and body thank you for the time that you've put in today. As I mentioned, you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like. And when you are ready to move into the rest of your day, add a bend to your knees and roll to your right side. I encourage you to stay for at least 5 breaths. And once you're ready, bring yourself into a seated shape. I hope you enjoyed your time on the mat today. It was my privilege and honor. The teacher in me acknowledges the teacher in you, and together we say, Namaste.